So note in example 5, we get another case of alternate exterior angles. They're on opposite sides of the transversal, outside of the parallel lines. Also notice that neither one of these is a whole number. We get an expression for both of them. So when we set these two angle measures equal, which we can do because they're congruent, this forms a pick on the little guy problem. So between 8x and 3x, 3x is the smaller coefficient. So I can subtract 3x from both sides. That moves all my variables to the left. I can also add 77 to both sides. And that will move my constants to the right. So 8x take away 3x, that leaves us with 5x's on the left. And 38 plus 77 is 115. Last but not least, a bit of division, dividing both sides here by 5. That will leave us with x equals 23. Now, when we go to double check our work, we'll want to substitute that 23 into both of these angle measures. Conveniently, I have a calculator. So when we do 8 times 23 minus 77, we get 107 degrees for my first angle, the one in the top left corner. And then when I check the second one is going to be 3 times 23 plus 38. We once again get 107. So that value 23 did get us two congruent angles. It is important to check your work so that you know you're doing everything correctly. But that answer 23 does check out. Let's jump on over to example 6. Taking a look at example 6 here, we get corresponding angles. Again, corresponding, if we look at each set of 4, these are the angles that are in the lower left-hand corner, so they match up in their positions. Corresponding angles are congruent. So corresponding angles being congruent lets us set their measures equal to one another. And it'll be very similar to the previous example. My smaller coefficient is 6, so I can subtract a 6x from both sides. That's going to move all my variables to the right, so I want to send my constants to the left. And I can add 47 to both sides. That'll leave me with 45 equals 5x. Dividing both sides by 5 will then get me a value for x. X will be 9. If it really bothers you that I wrote 9 equals x, you could of course always switch it. And if this were a proof, we'd say, oh look, it's the symmetric property. Of course, we're not doing any proofs, so x equals 9 is all we're looking for. Again, I do encourage you to go back and check your work. If x is 9, we should wind up with two congruent angle measures when I substitute it back in. 11 times 9 minus 47, that gives me an angle measure of 52 degrees. And then 6 times 9 minus 2 gives me a value of 52 as well. So we know that these angles are congruent, and we did this one correctly.